This also comes from James Edwards. These stats. Well, let's actually talk about this. He posted an article. It was pretty good, talking about why the Pistons are so bad and what they can work on. But before I get into some of this, what his points were in the article, what do you think the Pistons could do to become better defensively this season?
Get more 3-and-D veteran wing players. I know I've mentioned it a couple times. Like, you need like Jake Crowder's on the team.
Yep.
In my personal opinion, guys that if you're gonna be a team that wants to switch everything, then you need personnel that knows how to switch. They're still learning it, and obviously they're getting better game by game. But I think you need vets like that. You need those wings that know how to switch and communicate defensively. And I think the numbers wouldn't be so bad. And don't play Corey Joseph either. I think just him alone, he's probably one of the worst defensive bench players in the NBA.
So one of the big ones was inexperience in communication. Which do you think is more important for the Pistons this year? I mean, experience will come with defense, but like, do you think it's the inexperience that hurts them, or it's the lack of communication defensively?
I think it's a mixture of both, honestly. When you're watching the games, you really don't hear them talk defensively.
No.
Like, nobody talks because no one knows where they're supposed to be. And I think at the end of the day, that's a coaching thing. If you're going to say we're going to switch everything, then that needs to be your focal point in these practices. You need to just work on switches nonstop and have an anchor defensively that's going to communicate and knows where everyone needs to be defensively at all times. And I just don't think they have that right now.
Yeah, I think I was against the switching on everything. You've heard me say that before on this podcast. I wanted to see them, if they're going to continue to switch, I want to see them adjust it a little bit. I want to, like, for example, if Corey Joseph's out there, I want to see Corey Joseph fighting through screens. I don't want to see Corey Joseph switch 2 through 5 and tell Corey Joseph, dude, you're going to have to fight. We can't have you switching and everything because it causes mismatches. That's what I want to see. I really do want to see more communication, because there have been a few plays where I don't even know if the Pistons know what set they're supposed to be in. And you know what I'm talking about. You don't know whether they're in man-to-man or in zone. They're not talking. That needs to change. I want to see more effort from people defensively, especially when a shot goes up and it bounces off the rim. Too many times, the only guy hustling out there to get a rebound is Isaiah Stewart. Guys need to step up defensively and get a rebound and stop giving second chance points up. It's going to change the way for the defense, in the way they play. They've been in these games, but they just give up too many second chance points. The other thing I want to see is, and I know Dwayne Casey had talked about this, I want to see effort defensively when they're up in a game, not when they're down, not when they have to fight back. I don't want to see them turn up the defensive effort when they fight back in a game. Play good defense, play hard defense, play with effort, play with hustle, and play with some consistency, and things will change. These are all fixable problems for the Pistons. It's not all going to happen in one game, but I think it's all fixable. It's nice to see Marvin Bagley out there. He's going to help in the rebounding department, because I felt like the lack of size was also hurting the defense. But yeah, I don't know. That's my rant on the defense.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was the Boston game, the last game. There was a possession where Boston missed, and they got 4 offensive rebounds in a possession, and the energy was just so low, and they're like watching the ball. They're like not even hustling for it. They're just watching Boston get second chance points and just shoot 3-pointers. Like, they're not even trying out there most nights. It's really hard to watch as a fan, because I don't know if the players are disconnected from the coaching staff, but it's starting to look that way from afar, where they're just not locked in, or maybe they're just tuning out the messages that the coaches are telling them during the timeouts. I don't want to speculate or anything like that, but that's just what it looks like from afar.
Yeah, it was the lack of effort. I want to say against the Knicks too. I felt like the Knicks had a lot of second chance points, and Yeah, like we were talking, I've already said I think the season's over. I don't see them winning very many games. But if I'm going to continue watching the Pistons and they're going to be bad, I want to see some goddamn effort. I want to see them play hard night in and night out. I don't care if you lose, just play hard. Just play hard. Strike some fear in the rest of the NBA and say, hey, we're coming. We're going to be here in a few seasons and we're going to take over. That just strike some fear and play hard night in and night out. That's what I want to see from the Pistons because it's been bad defensively. And it's been embarrassing defensively. Who was it? Jose Alvarado that said they were predictable. We don't want that guy saying that about the Pistons.
Yeah, he said the switching was predictable because he knew where to attack. I think that was a preseason game too, when the switching was even worse than it is now. But when you have role players like that saying, like, "Yeah, I knew exactly where to go. I knew exactly how to attack this," they're switching. That's really alarming. And it's like I get why they're trying to practice the switching, but like you just don't have the personnel to do it right now, and that's why it's not working.
Yeah, but I also just think it's well, what I liked a little bit recently these past couple of games is that guys like Jaden Ivey and Sadiq Bey actually were fighting through screens. I think they're getting to the point where, and maybe Casey's doing this, maybe he's not, where he's saying instead of switch everything, I want you guys to recognize whether you can fight through the screen or you need to switch, like talk and communicate. I think, yeah, maybe they don't have like, I don't think you're always going to have the right personnel to run a defense anyway in the NBA. But if you have more than enough, you got to get guys to buy into what you're doing.
Yeah.
Maybe the Pistons just haven't really bought in the rest of the season for, recently.
Yeah, I mean, you look at all the championship teams. Like the Warriors are notorious for switching, but like I said, they have Draymond Green, where they can switch stuff.
Yep.
Uh, the Celtics have been switching for probably the last 5 to 6 years, but they have Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown.
Goes up Marcus Smart.
Yeah, Marcus Smart too. They have the personnel to switch. Like you have Killian Hayes is probably your best defender on this team. Like you have defenders, but you just don't have the wings. In my opinion, to switch. Like I love Sadiq Bey, I love Isaiah Livers, I love Hami Diallo, but they're just not up to my standard of like how you would be effective to switch. I just don't think they're to that like defensive level where you can get away with it.
Do you think the Pistons will be ranked the worst defense in the NBA by the end of the season?
I think they'll be bottom 5 for sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I'll agree with you on that. I think they're still going to be terrible.